Hey there, welcome to this episode of the Celebrate Brave podcast. I'm Nicole Steinbach, the International Bravery Coach and your host. On this podcast, I share the best frameworks, the coolest conversations, and my own unique perspectives for how you can build your brave. There are two foundations to all of our conversations. Number one, bravery is a skill, not a personality trait. And you are already brave. Brave is how you create your unique, wonderfully fulfilling life. Brave is you. Let's go. Welcome to this episode. So, per season 4, we're doing something for the first time ever. In fact, I'm sharing with you my first ever client who's already and also a coach. So, Maartje, Bakker, welcome. I'd love to give you the chance to introduce yourself and explain how awesome you are.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I'm so excited to be on the podcast. And I was just on the phone with my mom and I was like, I'm on the podcast with Nicole. I'm so excited. I got to get ready.
That's so cool.
So, mom stories aside, my name is Maartje. I am a Dutch woman of 25 years old. I live in America currently. And I live a little bit of a nomadic life. My man is from South Carolina, so I'm here with him, and we kind of move around the States a little bit, and hopefully soon I'll be able to move around Europe again. And I am a coach. I'm a coach for people who want to transition out of their corporate grind, hustle culture career and into something on their own terms, so that they can enjoy their life again, enjoy their weekends again, instead of being just recovering from the week. And I really love the work that I do there. So,
yeah. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, we're going to dive into that. But first, elephant in the room. It is very interesting. I am not a business coach, y'all. I'm the International Bravery Coach. I help people, primarily women, build the skill of bravery. And Maartje is escape the corporate grind and set up your own business, side hustle, et cetera, right? Why on earth are you coaching with me? Especially since when we first started working together, we were supporting very similar people. And one could make an argument that we still are. I'm supporting people who are building their brave, and a growing number of my clients choose to set up a different income setup, right? Mm-hmm. And you are coaching people who are brave, are stepping into that to create their own income source. So what the hell are we doing? Why are we doing this?
I feel like we have to go back to how we met, because I remember that very, very clearly. We were both on LinkedIn actively, and somehow, I don't actually know how, but we connected.
Yes.
And I sent you a message saying something like, I see we're in similar spaces. I see you've been going for a bit longer than I have. I would love to connect. And your response was incredible, because you just put in all caps, yes, how can we meet?
It's surprising how many people don't answer me when I answer enthusiastically. They're like, we're in the same space. And I'm like, oh my God, let's talk. And I never hear from them again. So
it's called attract and repel. That's what it is.
Preach. Oh my God, yes.
And you attracted me. You attracted me with that response. And I was like, I need to be in the room with a woman with this kind of energy. And I was like, yes, I'm in the Netherlands, but let's set up a call. Yeah. And then that call also stuck with me very much, because people who know me know that I immediately put everything on the table. Like I'm not someone I'm not great at small talk. So I think in the
Yeah.
first 10 seconds of our first Zoom call ever, after maybe 2 messages back and forth, you said, "How was your day?" And I said, "Well, a friend of mine just questioned my business
Oh my
decisions
God, that's
and
right.
yes, and I feel terrible and I don't know what I'm doing anymore and this is important to me and I feel so attacked." And you said the legendary sentence, "Great. Next time, let them post it and let them tag you."
Yes. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Because we have to repel, especially when we're building a business. If we are butter on every person's bread, then like literally you wait. It's so unhelpful. But when we
Yes.
repel certain people, it's because we're calling in other people. Girl, listen, if I was to tell that story, I would have totally forgotten it was at the top of our conversation. Been like, yeah, I was getting to know her. And then she told me about her friend who had opinions. And I was like, good. You're being yourself. That's perfect. Keep doing that.
Yes, it was the first 10 seconds of meeting you,
Oh,
and
that's so
it set the
funny.
tone of, and that's was why I wanted to work with you because I was in the time I was looking for a coach, a one-on-one coach. I basically wanted what I was doing for other people for myself.
Yeah.
I didn't want someone to tell me how to do things
Mm-hmm.
because I had done that and coming fresh out of university and in a job where I was trying to do what people told me, I struggled
Mm-hmm.
in starting my business and doing what worked for me. So I was following other people's recipes and something was working, but something wasn't. And when you said, like, great that that friend said that, I thought that's what I need. Someone who can bring that fierceness to
Mm.
me because that's what I want. I want to have that strong voice of my own and not be an echo, but be that voice. And I was like, Nicole
Yeah.
has, I don't want to say has balls because I don't like those
I've
kinds of
got
things.
ovaries. I've got a
She's got
serious case of
ovaries.
ovaries. I do. Betty White, right? Betty White was like, stop talking about balls. They're weak. Give them a little flick and the person's on the ground. But ovaries, we can
Gets
take
a
a
little
kicking.
cold. They get
That's
real
right.
small.
That's right. That's right. Oh my
All
gosh.
right.
And you know what's so amazing about this story? Because I think a lot of coaches are going to end up listening to this one. So I really want to put this out there. I was not on a call to sell to you. I was not on a call for you to sell me. We were two humans working in a similar space, connecting as humans. And like we have to remember one of my colleagues, I'm in a group called the Red Balloon Club, and at the end of our last call she's like, "Hey, I know we talked about big things. I know we talked about content. I know we talked about strategy, and we got into this for love. We need to remember that we are here to go and love on our colleagues, love on ourselves, love on our clients, right?" And I was like, "Namisha, you just called me out. Stop it. I'm so in my head." She's just laughing. I'm like, "Yeah, but it's true. Like, we got into this to love on other people and to share what we've experienced so that they can have their experiences and together we can elevate the world." Because when you wrote to me, you wrote me a LinkedIn and were like, "Hey, would you be willing to coach me?" Do you happen to remember how many days it took me? It took me a long time to answer you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was surprised by that. And that had a lot to do with my own beliefs around making money, signing clients.
Mm.
So I was like, why is she not jumping on this? And
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the reasons why, which
Yeah.
almost validated my feeling of I want to work with
Yeah.
you. I was like, she's not just working with anyone.
Yeah.
And you had to think about it because I was your first coach
You
to
are
coach,
my
right?
first coach client. You still are, my friend. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really had to think about it. It's like with Ashley, right? So I really had to think about Ashley? What does Ashley want to do? Can I really support someone? And I'm talking about Ashley. She has a podcast. I'll put it in the show notes. But can I really support someone who's in a boarding school? Can I really do this? Right. And so I had to think about it. Can I coach? Am I the right person? And so I made you a deal. I was like, let's try this for 3 months and let's check in after 3 months and see. And either way, we've learned and we both move on and it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is interesting, right? Because you're right. You and I, and you happen, I mean, you know, because I've shared quite a lot with you. It's been, as I've been coaching you, I have been going through my first ever really painful coaching experience. We have so many colleagues, I've learned, who don't follow through. They don't do the things they say they're going to do. They take money from anyone. They overpromise and they underdeliver consciously, not like accidentally, right? So, like, for example, I had a client. My promise is stress less, work less. Now it's live more, earn more. But at the time, it was just earn more. And she traveled back to India. It was a really tough experience. And she had way more stress while she was working with me, right? I didn't consciously overpromise. Her life changed, and we were dealing with very, very, very unexpected things, right? But we have a lot of colleagues who overpromise and underdeliver consciously so that people keep giving them money.
Mm-hmm.
And you and
Yes.
we just fucking don't do that. I love some of our conversations where you share how heart driven you are with your clients. Like their success matters to you. It is, I mean, that's why you're in this, to do that, to create with people what it is they really want. And people want to be 25 years old, bopping around the world, building a business, falling in love, hanging out on the beach. Like you also bike all over the place, which is hilarious to me because I bike. But right? Like people want that and they are ready to be supported with the level of coaching that you give them and the level of love. You give them so much love.
It's funny that you bring this up because I actually have a post ready that's going live tomorrow about exactly this. Like I I am doubling down on value for my clients, not necessarily that
Yeah.
my prices are going up and I'm adding extra coaching sessions or things like that. But I have transferred all my clients into one private Slack community. There's a whole thread right now of my clients sharing dog pictures with each other from their dogs.
Oh my
And
God.
it's
Yes.
living its own life. And I love it so much. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting messages from all of my clients saying, "Oh, thank you so much for making this community. I'm getting so much out of this. I'm
Yeah.
dropping them meditations throughout the week. I'm dropping them coaching tools, LinkedIn tips." Um,
Yeah.
I just ordered a book for one of my clients that I felt like she has to read for her unique journey that she's on. And all of that it just comes from the desire to serve them and to help them reach the goal that they have set. And I don't care if that how many coaching sessions you have with me or what the
Mm-hmm.
price is, or I just care that you see yourself change, you see the growth, and you feel
Yeah.
freaking supported by me. And I have that same feeling with you, where sometimes out
Mm.
of the blue, I get a message from you and it's like, you have to listen to this podcast. And I listen to it, and it always is exactly what I needed to hear.
Which is funny because I always ask my clients, like, do you want me to send you resources? I'm going to always offer homework. Do you want that? And quite a number of my more senior corporate clients who come to me are like, no, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so tired. The
Yeah.
only thing, I have one client actually, she's graduating soon. She's like, the only thing I want you to do is send me reminders to breathe. So I send
So
her little
good.
reminders. I'm like, take a breath. Are you breathing? You want to take a walk? We can go on a walk together. Right. And it's like, it's like what supports your clients?
Mm-hmm.
You were like, send me everything. I want the library. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be careful about what I send her because she will dive into everything. She's so curious and so excited. But, it's like supporting your clients in a way that is love for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Something immediately comes up of a session I had yesterday. And at the end I said, do you want me to check in a couple days on how this is going? And she said, no. And I was just so excited to hear her say no, because how courageous, how brave is it when your coach asks you, do you want me to check in? And you say no.
Exactly.
You feel so safe and supported that you can say no. And I'm like, great. I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Oh God, that feels so good. That feels so good. And for so many of us, no is not something we were permitted to say. And believing in our resourcefulness and our complete, this is something I really struggle with, is like, I am complete. I am whole. I am complete. I do not need fixed. I do not need educated. I do not need whatever, right? Like I myself am whole and complete. And to have a client or anyone in our lives, actually, because that's one of the things that my daughter just amazes me. People will attempt to tell her what to do or like say, oh, you're going to be really cold today. You're going to be really cold today. And she'll be like, yeah, I'll be warm enough. And she just continues because she's whole, right? She hasn't accepted yet the indoctrination that she isn't whole because we are all whole and complete. We are enough. When we wake up in the morning and our breath smells, and I don't know when everybody changes their underwears, but I change mine in the morning. So I got dirty underwears on and my hair is a mess. I am enough. And what a beautiful thing. Oh, yay. Go client, say no. Woo, 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 woo. I love it. I love it. So I would love to share. We got the elephant out of the room. I would love to share why you have been drawn in the last 3 months, because it's been a big shift in the last 3 months of us working together, why you've been drawn towards supporting people to step out of their corporate spaces. Like what's been going on there? And then, describe a little bit about what you offer.
So I kind of want to go to my brave moment because I feel like it led to everything.
Well, I have a little face over here like a cat. I'm like,
spill the tea. Yes. So my brave moment, and you also asked this question before the podcast. You said, who's your brave role model? And I sat with that question for a little bit, and I just kept coming to the same answer. And I thought, can I say this? I'm like, hell yeah, I can say this.
Absolutely.
I am my own brave role model. There you go. and a specific part of me is my brave role model.
Okay, one second. All right, y'all. Sometimes my clients, okay, I'm back. Girl, did you just say you are your own brave role model? Oh, guests often get me to cry. It's not so common that I tear up, I cry. I'm literally crying. I'm like wiping stuff off my eyes. But my whole body just went completely still. It flushed with, do you know that fire, that truth fire? It just flushed from the bottom all the way to the top, and I felt utterly connected. Like all of these walls of my house, they just went away, and I was like connected to the essence of the freaking universe.
Yes.
Maartje, I am blown away. I am not surprised, though. I will tell you, I am blown away, but I'm also not surprised.
I love that.
Y'all, listen. I want you to start practicing that. I want you, every single one of you listeners, I want you to start practicing that. You are your own brave role model. Because I am a brave role model for me. I look back at, 35-year-old me, 32-year-old me, almost died giving birth, 30-year-old me, horrible pregnancy. And, oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. Tell me more about your brave role model.
Okay, so there was this show that I was watching. I hope the listeners are watching the show too. If they're not, get on it. Working Moms. I wish it was just moms and not working moms, but
Yeah.
or working dads, or I don't know what. But working moms, there was a scene where two friends are talking, and one of them says to this other friend, she says, "The Kate that I know would just give him the finger and start her own PR business. The Kate that I know." And that made me think about myself. Like, the Maartje who I know, who is she? Because sometimes we doubt ourselves and we don't always see the brave role model in ourselves, right? Most of the time, maybe we don't. We just see ourselves just the way we are, and little old me. So I asked myself, who is the Maartje that I know? Well, the Maartje that I know rode her bike by herself from Amsterdam to Berlin. The Maartje that I know landed her first job, a freaking amazing job, from an Airbnb on a borrowed laptop, wearing her dirty cycling clothes on that same trip. The Maartje that I know got promotion after promotion. The Maartje that I know spoke in front of audiences of 500 people to pitch a startup that she was working for. And the Maartje that I know quit her job at the ultimate height of that job.
Hot damn.
Hot damn, right? That's the Maartje I know. So how can I not have her as my brave role model? Who is braver than me?
I love you so much. Yeah.
And all of these moments are my brave moments. And
yeah,
when I think of the bravest one, it's definitely quitting my job, because I was quitting my corporate job, because I was at such a successful, but I'm putting that in quotes kind of, because it's like I was successful to the outside world, but to me, I didn't have time to drink coffee properly in the morning. I didn't have time to finish my breakfast. I didn't have time to go to the bathroom in between meetings.
Yeah.
Because they were scheduled back to back and back to back and back to back.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to enjoy my weekends.
Yeah.
Because on Sunday I would already have anxiety for the whole week that had to come. So in that sense, how successful was I really? And once that sank in for me, I knew I wanted to do something else, and I took some time to think about it, quite a bit of time. And I'm someone who would always tell everything, ask everything before I would make a decision to all the people around me. So I would call my friends, and I would ask my family, and I would go to everyone for a second opinion and a 12th opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the day that I quit my job, and the day that I really channeled that inner brave me, I called no one.
Wow.
So I sat in my office. It was 3 p.m. And suddenly I just knew. And this is not suddenly I just knew. I put a lot of work in myself. I got coaching. I was already in my coaching certification at that time.
Yeah.
But that moment, 3 p.m. in my office, I just felt, this is it. I have to quit.
Yes. So I've had a few of those moments. I'm like, well, suddenly my spirit was ready, or suddenly I was ready. And I have a personality that is a little bit like yours. It shows up very differently, but I'm a switch. I'm either on or I'm off. So I'm working on being a dimmer, right? Like allowing for more grace, allowing for some more grace, allowing more time to consider, right? And I'm actually trying to do this by dozing in bed. Y'all, I'm either awake or I am asleep. It confuses people. I'll be just hanging out with people and then I am gone because I am asleep. I have gone. I am in my bed. Good night. And the same in the morning. And I'm trying to train myself into dozing because I'm such a light switch. But what you're describing for me is one of those moments where my body, my spirit, my soul, my me is like, all right, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And what
Mhm.
made that such a strong feeling for me that I was ready was that I knew I didn't have to call anybody. I didn't have to text
Oh.
anybody. I didn't even text my partner. So I walked downstairs and said, "Do you have 10 minutes?" to the person from HR. And after I walked up back to my office, sweating, shaking, feeling like the life force energy in me was just exploding. And I
Mhm.
texted my partner and my best friend,
Mhm.
and I said, "I quit, period." It
Wow.
already happened. I didn't need to
Yes.
ask them before. I just
Yes.
needed to give them the memo. Hey, by the way, this happened.
Oh my gosh. That is insanely brave to listen to yourself, to believe yourself, to step into action, to become who it is you want to be. So you did it.
Freaking did it. Best thing I ever did.
Congratulations. Best thing
Thank
you
you.
ever did. Yeah, best thing you ever did. And then you're like, I'll set up my own company.
Yes. Second best thing I ever did.
Oh man. So how did you get into helping people with that moment? Like now I understand more why, because that moment is very, very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And I almost want to come back to that. Um, I always would really listen to other people and what I had to do. So when I first started my business, I got on board with a coach who helped me with LinkedIn and be my first kind of business coach. And he he told me what to do. And that worked for a good amount of time. He also told me, how about you go into coaching women in tech? Because I
Yeah.
was in a little bit more of a vaguer niche at that time. And he said, it makes sense. You come from tech. So it gives you credibility. So
Mm-hmm.
this could be really good for you to get started. And me doing what other people said, especially when I saw them as an authority, which I saw him as an authority because I hired him,
Mm-hmm.
um, was like, yeah, let's do that. So I'm grateful I did that.
Yes.
Um, I helped a lot of women doing that
Yes.
work. Um, I became a better coach doing that work,
Yeah.
and at the same time, at some point, it started to feel like it wasn't a good fit anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was around the same time. And I feel like this is very
This
you're
is
like,
so
yep.
my story. I'm like, wow, I am really, really good at this. I am
Yeah.
really good at this. Yeah. And then, okay, what happened
Mm-hmm.
next?
And then also realizing like I can be good at something and decide not to do it.
That's right.
Which was also, I'm a fantastic project manager. Oh, put me in front of a team. I will take them to the sky. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Just deciding not to do that right now, even
Yeah.
though I would be great at it. So I went on a little bit more of an exploration. I felt like it wasn't motivating me as much anymore. So I went on this, I wouldn't say it was a sidetrack, but it was an exploration of diving into the menstrual cycle and productivity. So, for about 6 weeks, I marketed a 3-day training on the menstrual cycle and productivity. So, I stepped away from tech, kind of, kind of secretly, because I still had my headline up. I was still known as this women in tech coach, but I was suddenly talking about periods.
Yeah.
And that was brave because I was like, oh God, I'm going to talk about my period. I was blogging my period on LinkedIn.
It was very I have to tell you, though, it was really impressive. That's when we first started to get to know each other, and I was reading your stuff, and I was like, man, I could have really used, because I'm a lot older than you are, and I'm like, I could have really used this information. I could have really freaking used this information. Yeah.
Exactly. And I felt the same way because it had only been just a little bit ago. I didn't know anything about that. So I went that route for a while, and I still have that as part of my business, where I provide a period ritual for women to connect to their body, to connect to their goal, and reflect during a time which is highly intuitive, like your period. But I also wasn't this period person. Like, I'm also not this coach who's only talking about periods. That's not me either. So, damn, I'm like, what do I even do? Right?
Yeah.
And in those moments, what I really appreciate about coaching is that it can sometimes just calm you down a little bit in this constant search for the answer. Like, what is it that I do? How do I help people? And instead of trying to be a shark, we've talked about this one time. Instead of trying to be a shark hunting for the answer, to be a little bit more like a whale, opening your mouth, letting the food swim in, letting the answers come to you. And it took a little while, and our coaching has helped so much in that. But I found it went from periods to people pleasing, which I didn't really connect to. The word didn't connect with me. To helping people transition out of the corporate grind, which feels so right now. It just clicked, because when I think about my bravest moment, and when I think about the thing I'm most grateful for in my life, it's that I now have the freedom and the time and the work that matters to me, that make my life freaking amazing.
Yes.
And I want to help other people do that too, because I know I can, because I have done that. Because most of my clients from the women in tech, they started their own businesses. They quit their jobs. They came to me and they said, I want a promotion.
Yep.
And they left having quit their job, literally traveling the world with their online business. So it makes so much sense that I got here. And maybe also to kind of normalize for people listening, maybe who feel like they are in this search, it will come to you. And I know how shitty that sounds, because you're like, I want the answer. Just give me the answer. Yeah. It's going to come to you in its own time, and it's going to be pretty interesting in the meantime.
Yeah. Do you mind if I share a story from our coaching?
Please do.
Okay. So you were frustrated, and I said, oh man, I totally understand that. It's hard not to know exactly. What do your people say? Not why they come to you, but when they leave, when they graduate, when they give you feedback, when they celebrate, what are they celebrating? Because there's real value to be found there. And you got a little annoyed with me. It was very funny. You went into this very proper version of yourself, this very Dutch proper, like, okay, well, Nicole. And you gave me a bunch of reasons why that was a stupid idea. And then I was like, yeah. I told my coach the same thing about 5 months ago. And my coach is coming on to the podcast soon. I don't know if you're going to be before her or after. I'm not exactly sure yet. But her name is Jess Johnson. And I basically said the exact same thing to her, because I was making myself insane, like certifiably just off the freaking rails. here I am. I have this and it's so amazing you use the word credible because you and I have never talked about that. But I have this credible niche. I am the former global senior director and of tech and then tech and tech and tech. It's so credible. It's so lucrative. It's so profitable. People know who I am. Men can accept it, right? Is one of the things I said when I wasn't controlling my tongue. My head came out of my mouth. Well, men can accept this. Men understand it, right? And she gave me the same damn advice that I gave you, right? Or suggestion, like what or question actually, like what are they saying? And I was like, yeah, you know what? Actually, my last survey really annoyed me. Nobody talked about how much money they make when they work with me. And everybody makes so much more money when they work with me. I shouldn't say everybody.
Why don't they talk about it?
Why don't they talk about it? You know, they come onto my podcast and they're like, you know what? I sleep better. I'm happier. I'm doing things with my kids. I'm traveling. I'm enjoying my cruises, whatever it is. I'm mountain biking more. And I'm like, yeah, that's so amazing. And then I listen to it later. I'm like, she didn't say she makes more money. And the reality is like, yes, everybody has more options and more opportunity with more money. And yes, women in tech is credible. Yes, tech is a very lucrative job, very lucrative job. But what are people actually saying to me? And because I'm a slower learner than you are in some ways, what are they saying when they come to me? I literally had people get on a consult with me and say, I don't want to be a woman in tech. I don't want to talk about tech. I just want to say what I mean. I want to work less. Honestly, you know, I want to be brave.
Yes.
I've been talking about brave for so long. But it probably took me 6 months to actually shift.
Mm-hmm.
Actually. And I still was introduced recently and someone was like, so what do you do? Because Americans are obsessed with what we do. And I was like, oh, I coach women and I coach people all over the world on how to build the skill of bravery. And I have to feel credible with that. I have to feel complete and whole. I have to know it's enough. I have to know that when my clients go out into the world, they are doing better. They are better. They feel better. They sleep better, right? So same, right? Like it's fascinating how, and this goes to the very first elephant in the room that we address, like, why are we doing this? This is why. Because we make the world better. Oh my gosh. I love it. And one of the things you forgot to mention, so I'm going to totally call it out. Ready? People started coming to you and asking, will you help me? Will you help me?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that is, like, I don't call it ideal client anymore.
Me either.
Because I'm not trying to fish for the perfect fish.
Yeah.
I call them soulmate clients.
Yeah.
Because they're connected to me already.
Yeah.
They are meant for me already. Mm-hmm. So they are finding me. And I'm just opening the door. I'm just a whale opening her mouth when she needs to be fed. When I have a place in my coaching, I open my mouth, they come. Because I don't need to fight other coaches. I don't need to fight you, Nicole, for getting your clients. There are people out there that are perfect for me and they will come my way, and it's happening. And I don't have to do sleazy sales tactics anymore. And I can get on a call with someone and end it saying, hey, just let me know when you're ready.
Exactly.
Instead of trying to be like, can I get your credit card? And I'm like, oh, because that's how I started. Because someone told me I had to do that. So I did it because I didn't think for myself, because how scary is it to think for yourself, right?
Well, it is scary, but also, like, I just want to normalize. You didn't know how that felt in your body yet.
True.
You needed to experience how that felt in your body, because I followed this thing called a consultation code. Like, I followed it for a while and I made a lot of sales. And then I had clients who were like, no, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And I went through the consultation code, I don't know, about 9 months ago, 6 months ago, I'm not sure, a while ago. And it literally says, tell them exactly, tell them it's structured, tell them you know exactly what to do, you know how to do it. The reality is I don't know how to reach your goal as you, right? You are the authority. Now, I'm the expert on the coaching side. I also have a lot of experience in crafting a life. I have a lot of frameworks, right? This is one of the benefits of being certified. You get taught actual effective frameworks. And if it's a good school, you can stay involved and continue to learn as their research continues to go, right? But I actually don't know exactly how to do it. So when I dropped the consultation, and once that became clear to me, I was like, oh, this is why I get off of a consultation, successful or not, meaning sale or not, right? And this is why I grumble with my husband. I take a nap. I get frustrated with something. It's because while I'm going through that, doing what I'm supposed to do, I don't feel good. And when I dropped that, like the clients shifted. The ones who are already working with me shifted because I started showing up more me, which is incredibly warm. One of my coaches is Maggie Reyes. She's the bomb. We will link her. She does relationship coaching, but she should really do all coaching. Maggie, I put it in the universe, make it happen. But she said the other day, she said, loving kindness, fierce power. And I was like, that is the best description. And when I started to show up like that more and more and more, whether or not I have the vocabulary, my clients get to too. And then the people who come to me, they also want fire with grounding energy. Right? That is what they want. But girl, like, I didn't know because I hadn't felt it in my body. I was doing what I was supposed to do. And now I get onto a consultation. One woman recently, she was so funny. I don't make an offer to work with everyone, even if I have spots, because I'm just not the right coach for everybody. But she was so funny. She's like, when are you going to sell me? We only have like 10 minutes left. When are you going to sell me? And I was like, well, I told you what the program is. I told you what it costs. I told you a few podcasts to check out. Like, what are you looking for? And she's like, well, aren't you going to tell me like, I really need this? And if I don't do this, I'm not going to get my goal. And I was like, no. And we just looked at each other awkwardly on Zoom. Like, I know what. I was like, so yeah, what questions do you have? Like, how can I?
Yeah. Are you not going to drag me into your cave, trying to get me into your sales cave?
No.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because to quote Namisha and us, we're here to love people. And yes, our expertise, people need to pay for it. Like there is so much amazingness to pay for high quality, certified, do what you say you're going to do. Coaching with someone who actually gives a shit about you, gives a shit about your goals. I'm still in contact. One of my clients just had a baby. I think we stopped working together. Like, I don't even know. I think we stopped working together longer than we actually worked together. Girl, you know I'm in there. I'm like, girl, congrats.
Yes.
Right? So no, we're not going to knock you over. Oh my God, Nicole, I have to stop myself from ranting.
I want to also come back to how you say like we don't have the answer, and I think that is something that I have struggled with as well, or kind of wrestled with in the past months of like what is credible, what do people buy? Like I was really convinced people don't buy better sleep. People don't buy having time to eat lunch away from your desk. People don't want to buy that. They want me to tell them that they'll make more money, right? And like you said, that's not actually what they come back to you with at the end of a coaching relationship. They don't actually say, thank God I make more money. They say, thank God that I now finally have time to treat myself on a Friday afternoon to stop working at 2.
Yes.
So I'm also not selling a certain result anymore, because transitioning out of the corporate rat race looks different for everyone. And if we work together for 6 months, maybe you've left your job. Maybe you have an exit plan on when you're going to leave your job. Maybe you have already started your business and you're a couple months in. Maybe you have found a different job with an amazing employer that makes you feel like you're not grinding, but you're living and working. Like, it's not set in stone, and I don't want people to necessarily follow in my footsteps because they're my footsteps. They're probably not going to fit you.
Yeah. Oh, that's so well said. Yeah.
So I think that's really important to for people also to know, because if you've never had coaching before, and that's what I find confusing about the term coaching, because when you say coaching, maybe you think of a football coach who's going to tell you how to play football, and then you will win the game. But that's not really what coaching is. That's maybe more what mentoring is, because I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to help you find the answer within yourself, because you know way better, because you are you. And I think that is the interesting part about marketing coaching to people who've never had coaching before, to kind of be able to give that experience, or give the awareness of, this is what it will be like. This is how it will help you. I'm not going to tell you do ABC and then you will get to a guaranteed D. Ooh, interesting.
That is very interesting, because you might go to K, or you might go to Q, or you might leave and go to the Cyrillic alphabet. You might decide that you're going to figure out Chinese or Korean. Yeah, that's amazing. You know, I don't think I've ever shared this story, and I'm going to try to do an effective job at it. I was having a conversation with somebody who is like a CrossFit kind of coach person. And he was like, "Oh, you're a coach. Which sport?" And I said, I was being very flippant. There was wine involved. I was like, "The sport of life." He was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I was new in the neighborhood too. So this guy had like no concept of who I was. Anyway, so I was like, I coach people into the skill of bravery, primarily women all over the world. And he's like, "What does that mean?" And I said, "Well," and talk to him. And he's like, "I don't understand." And I said, "I know it's confusing, because sometimes when people hear coach, they just assume it's like a basketball coach or a football coach or a tennis coach or a CrossFit coach. And then it's like, I don't give you the exact step-by-step to become a professional in that sport." And he said, "You know what? That's a real misconception." And then this man took me to school. He took me to school. Okay. He said, "I coach people." And then actually it turns out that there's a lot of like professional coaches who also do CrossFit. So there's like a lot of overlap in the top circles of CrossFit. Please do not ask me any follow-up questions, because I don't know. Okay. Like I got what he told me and I believe him. But they are often talking about how you can get an athlete to do the exact same exercises in the exact same time, and they can have the same result, but one of them makes it and the other one doesn't. And it all comes down to the intangibles. And the best coaches are the coaches who can unleash. And this was one of the inspirations for my word of the year, unleash, who unleash the intangibles in each and as a whole. And then he shared with me about a Broncos coach who couldn't do that, but was like the best technical person. I don't understand. And I was like, okay, I can see this. And I took it over to German, what Americans call soccer, German soccer. And I was like, "Oh, we had this coach." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know anything about European soccer." So then we were trying to find a bridge, and he says to me, have you ever watched, and he mentioned a couple of Hollywood movies that are about sports. The only one I had ever seen was this movie Rudy, which is about American football, and this, like, he's really small or something, and he ends up playing at the end. Sorry if there's a spoiler on a 20-year-old movie, but there you go. And he said, go watch some of them, because Hollywood always cuts through the practices. They don't show you do 500 push-ups, do 700 sprint runs, do this, do this, do this. They always focus on the moments, the interpersonal moments where a coach is helping an athlete become a better version of themselves, or is talking to the whole team and being honest about what isn't working, the effort it's going to take to make it work, and what is possible, the vision that they see. He said, so actually, it makes total sense that you call yourself a coach.
Interesting.
And I was like, I just went to school and church all at once.
I feel like in the South now we would say bless his heart, but would say it at a certain tone of voice that would make it. There are like different tones of voices for bless his heart. That means very different things. I'm meaning the positive.
Oh my God. Yeah, for real. I mean, it was incredible. It was a very short conversation, less than 20 minutes, but it really changed my understanding of what you and I do in the world, and why it matters, and why it is as valuable as this more normalized version of sport coaching or athletic coaching. It is as valuable, because at the end, we're doing incredibly simple things, right?
Yeah.
What do you want to achieve? I'll be your partner in achieving it. Yeah. Incredible. Oh my gosh. Okay. So all your links are going to be in the show notes. Your LinkedIn posts are fantastic. So definitely connect on LinkedIn with Maartje. We'll drop your website. Anything else?
Well, definitely say hi. If you are gonna look out on my LinkedIn, or if you're gonna check out my website, send me an email or send me a DM, say hi, and tell me that you listen to the podcast, because I love having just little chats and conversations with people in my network on LinkedIn. I'm not some big person in a I don't mean big person, but like the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
you should be afraid to reach out to. No, you can just say hi. It's just me behind my laptop here in North Carolina.
Right. And we've covered, you're not going to get a cold sales from either of us. And neither of us are going to try to figure out your problem so that we can sell you something. So definitely say hi to Maartje, begin the conversation, and enjoy all of the LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn posts are truly fantastic.
Thank you.
So good. Oh, this has been a very open conversation on my side and yours. I am so grateful that you connected. I'm so grateful that I get to be your coach. It's really, I mean, I'm grateful for every one of my clients, and with every client, I'm sure this is true for you, my self-concept shifts and refines a little bit more. And there's a certain amount of my defiant, rebel, brave energy. I love telling people that I'm coaching a coach. They're like, wait, you can't do that. You're competitors. I'm like, no, we aren't. We are elevating together. It's really incredible. So thank you publicly and privately.
Thank you too. And I was looking forward to this chat so much, because it's my favorite hour on the Monday. We talked about this last Monday. I'm always at the same time, same day. I'm that kind of person. I love my 12 o'clock Monday hour with you, because I always come out with a new perspective. I always come out with just a heightened mood and a different view on things. Very often I also cry, but but I always feel so much better after. And I'm just really excited for your audience to listen to this and very curious how this lands with them, since this is kind of a different conversation than I've heard on your podcast before. And I'm really excited to hear how people connect with this.
Me too. Oh, all good things come to an end. Thank you so much. And everyone else, until next week, brave it up. Bye. Hey, before you go, you are ready to become the bravest, most fulfilled version of you. And I am ready to be your coach. I invite you to explore one-on-one coaching with me. Go to tricksteinbach.com to learn more and schedule your consultation. You can stress and work less while you live and earn more. My clients do it all the time.